Hello, all of you. I'm Sanjalin and a volunteer of Fedora India. I'm here to introduce the speaker of the Synergy Talk, Mr. Mahesh Joshi, an entrepreneur and founder of a company. I would like to introduce him a little more to all of you. Mr. Mahesh Joshi is a passionate leader with excellent entrepreneurial capabilities. He started his career as management trainee and is now the founder of his company, Frugaline Solutions. He worked at Seek Limited, Parle Products, Biosdorf India, at Pence, Camlin, Pidilite Industries, and Wickfield Foods Private Limited as General Manager, Vice President, and Chief of Sales and Marketing. He has served as a CEO of Wickfield Foods. He has completed his Masters in Marketing Management from NIMS, Mumbai. He has also completed executive education programs on innovation and strategies for growth from Stanford Business School and IIM Ahmedabad. His entrepreneurial journey with Frugaline Solutions in April 2019 has led him to work in the space of plug-and-play Internet of Things, industrial IoT, and lean principles. He launched the brand Biofix, involved in solving day-to-day problems of households through biotechnology. He also consults organizations in the area of business strategy and growth. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and be our speaker for today's talk. We are indeed fortunate to have you here. Over to you, sir.
Hi guys, and I'm Mahesh Joshi. Thanks for this opportunity to speak to all of you. I'm going to discuss about the subject on journey from small to large businesses. This is a subject of special interest to me because there are multiple companies in India who are actually entrepreneurial ventures, and they generally get stuck after some time. They start with great enthusiasm, and after 4 to 5 years, what happens is that they come to a stagnation level, and this sales growth stops actually. And I was fortunate enough to work in two such organizations in my career. One is Camlin and other is Wickfield, wherein they had actually got stuck at one point of time, and that's when I joined them. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share that experiences with all of you during this next 45 minutes to 1 hour. And once that is done, then we will go for question and answer session, wherein you can ask me questions whichever you want. So that's the whole thing. And I will share actually one of the presentation which I made. So journey from small to large businesses. What do I mean by small business? Is the first slide actually. What you can see is the Biofix logo on the right hand side, which is my own company actually. So that's the thing. The business is entrepreneurial. So when we talk of small business, we are talking of those entrepreneurial businesses which are started in India primarily, and we are not talking of small MNCs, because entrepreneur is very important in this particular session where we go from small businesses to large businesses. Business has already completed at least 5 to 10 years of operation. So the business has successfully completed 5 to 10 years of its operation, and it is not like a startup of yesterday. So it has lived its life of 5 to 10 years minimum. Business is profitable with a small turnover. So the turnover is smaller, but the profitability is very good of this business. So let us understand that the small businesses that we're talking of are actually profitable. So we are not talking of a business where the profitability doesn't exist. We're talking of businesses which are doing well. The problem is they cannot grow. The business is growing at a very slow pace. There is an ambition in the entrepreneur that he has to grow the business faster. The problem is he doesn't have direction. The direction is actually blurred. So this is the clear definition of a small business for which we are going to work. If it's a MNC and small, we are not considering that. If it's a business which is actually not making profit, then it will not exist for 5 to 10 years actually. So that's why I'm saying it's a profitable business. So it's a profitable business and we want to grow it further. That's the challenge on hand actually. Let's go to the next screen. Why it is not? Yeah. The reason why these small businesses actually become successful is very important to study before we get into the analysis of that. So entrepreneur himself would have started the business, and he ensures that the business, he is at the helm of the affairs and he ensures that the business is very successful. The reasons can be the concept is absolutely innovative. The concept is not there in the market and he comes out with a concept which is not there. Like let's say that a product like Good Night, which was brought in by Mr. Mohan, or Mr. Patel's brought a product like Move, which was absolutely innovative, and they came out with the product and they became successful. The entrepreneur is generally a technocrat. So whatever product the entrepreneur brings, he is actually technically extremely sound on the product that he is developing. So the entrepreneur ensures that he brings in the best product, and then that becomes successful in the market. The product is maybe patented product, it can be a unique concept which is there, and that also helps in terms of making the product successful. There is a good customer contact. The business is very small, the entrepreneur is directly contacting the customer, so there is an extremely good relation between either the customers or the trade and the business. So with a very good relationship, the business grows very fast. The other reason for the success can be actually cost competitiveness. The entrepreneur is having very low cost infrastructure. He doesn't have a huge structure like other large organizations, and it becomes very cost effective, and he starts selling it with a point of view of cost competitiveness. So with all these 4 or 5 points which are attached to any entrepreneurship, which is a successful entrepreneurship, actually the product, the cost competitiveness is there, the organization can be called as successful. Both Camlin and Wakefield, when I joined, actually were very profitable, and actually you can say that they were successful organization even before I joined. There are certain reasons for stagnation. The reasons for stagnation can be actually there is no futuristic idea after spending 5 to 10 years with the initial idea. The entrepreneur doesn't have any idea as to how to grow from here. There is no new idea which he can actually implement. Like suppose Camlin got introduced with the fountain pen ink and colors. They did not have any fresh idea as to what they should be doing actually to grow their business. Same was with the Wakefield. They were having custard, corn flour, and baking powder, which were the main stand products, and they did not have any idea as to how to grow from there. So one of the reasons for stagnation was that there is no futuristic idea with entrepreneur, and it's not possible for everybody to have these kind of ideas every time. Entrepreneur has developed ego with his initial success. This is a major problem, and I think these are many of the organizations actually get into this particular problem. And the problem is once you become successful, actually you stop listening and observing to the others. The capability of the entrepreneur to listen and observe is actually what makes him successful. Whereas when he gets the initial success, he gets into that ego and then his ability goes down. There is also a point where it is considered as, the business is considered as early cash cow because the business is profitable. So what owners do is that, or entrepreneurs do is that they take out money from the business. Because it's profitable, they start using that money for personal usage, or they can divest it from this business into some other activities or other investments, which can also cause starvation of the business when actually the business has to be plowed with money and to grow. So that can be one of the reasons, that since the business is considered as cash cow, the money is taken out from the business and it ceases to grow. Not aware about new developments. So the owner actually, or the entrepreneur, sometimes loses the track of what are the new developments in the market. So since he is not aware about the new developments in the market, what happens is that there is no implementation of new things in the business. And since nothing new is coming into the business gets stagnated. The last but not the least is risk endorser is absent. Sometimes what happens is that the business owner is ready to take a decision that, okay, I want to invest into my business and I want to grow it further. But at this point of time, entrepreneur generally looks at an endorser who also says that, yes, boss, your idea is good and you should go ahead with that. Or the entrepreneur initially had a risk appetite, and the new investment that he's going to do is actually of a size wherein his risk appetite doesn't allow him to invest further. So these are the few reasons for stagnation. And sometime, someday, some of the friends or some other business partners or some other entrepreneurs come and give a tight slap to this guy. And that's not a real tight slap, but it's a virtual tight slap. He understands that he has got stagnated. And that is the day he feels that now he should grow and his ambition gets fired. And that is the time, actually, it is most important that he himself does all this work, or he actually gets it done through somebody to actually grow the business. And that is where the journey of actually moving from a small business to the large business starts. Unless he realizes that I really need to grow, it is very difficult for him to take any effort to grow further. Now let's get into the process as to what is the process involved in terms of growing further from this step. You would say that how an entrepreneurship business can actually have a process. But yes, although there is no defined process as such for this, what can be really construed, or what can be really thought of, is that when I have done this work for 2-3 companies, what I realized is that although we can say that there is no fixed process, there is a sort of process which one goes internally. And since I have done it 2 times, I really know as to there is a simple process that one goes through in this particular thing. And that is the process that I'm going to share with you now. So as the first step, the first step is we need to understand the business very well and identify the core strengths of it. So what can be the core strengths of a business? One is consumer trust and expectation on quality. So when we are talking of this, what we are talking is very simple. The consumer, how much confidence the consumer has on the organization. So if you take case of Camlin or Wakefield, the consumers had tremendous trust on the brand because of the legacy that they had. They were existing for 5 to 10 years, or actually in case of Camlin or Wakefield, they were existing for last 30-40 years. So there was a tremendous amount of trust that the consumers had on the company. The quality of the product was just super. So what happens is that whatever products were there, people were assuming and they were expecting, the expectation of the consumer about the quality was quite high. And this is a very good point for any organization to grow. If this particular point doesn't exist or is not present in any organization, it is very difficult to grow. So it is, first thing is to assess this consumer trust and expectation on quality. The second thing is the people. What kind of people the organization has and where they can take this organization further. This assessment of the person is very important. This assessment can be done by the, as I said, it can be done by entrepreneur, or it can be done by an employee, or it can be done by an outsider. But people's assessment is extremely crucial. In fact, all these points I will run, and this slide will run through very fast because afterwards I'm going to give you actual examples of these. The next is product concept and R&D. So the product concept, how far the product concept is good right now, because what happens is that as the time passes, what you have brought in as an innovation 5-10 years back no longer remains as a unique product. So the product concept gets worn out actually as the time passes, because there are new products which are already come into the market. So we need to assess as to whether the product concept is really relevant in today's day. Is it innovative? Is it not innovative? Is it R&D based or not? The current brand strength is also important to assess as to what is the brand strength of the brand, so that you know what we have to do on this. The next is the manufacturing technology which is used by the business. Third is what is the procurement infrastructure which exists for the business. The distribution network that the company has developed, and the channel dominance, which is the channel which is dominated by the organization. So these are the points which are actually evaluated. Now going forward, I will be discussing these points threadbare so that each of the point is discussed with examples.